In this video today, we're going to talk about the differences between the Garmin GPSMap 62S and the Garmin GPSMap 60Csx. Looking at the models, they look very similar. They both have a quadrifilar helix antenna at the top there, a very similar screen size. 62S is slightly smaller, but it has a lot more colors. It has 65,000 colors as opposed to the 256 colors available on the 60Csx. As for pixel count, they have the same amount of pixels. They both use a very similar interface at the bottom here. The only real difference is the thumb pad is round on the 60 and more square on the 62S. When you hold the unit in your hand, you'll notice that the 62S has more of a rubber around the whole thing, making it feel more secure, like it's not going to slip out of your hand. Where the 60CX, it has a hard plastic around the majority of it. It's not going to fall out of your hand. It just doesn't have the same type of grip. As we look at the back of the units, you'll see that they're a little different. The Garmin 60CSX has this belt button, and on the bottom here a notch, and that's how it would go into the Garmin mounts. The 62 series has a spine here, and it uses this style of mount, and it simply just slides on like that. Other differences on the back of the unit are the connectors. On the 60CSX we have a USB antenna and a serial power port. On the 62 series, we just have USB and an antenna. On the 62SC models, the models with a C in the name, there's a camera, and the camera takes the spot of the antenna jack. Both units will support NMEA 0183. There's one difference though, because the 62 series has to go through the USB port for NMEA. It uses this special cable, and it has a serial to USB adapter here. This serial to USB adapter on the cable needs to be powered, so you need an external power source for NEMA to work. On the 60CSX and similar models, it outputs NEMA through a regular serial port, not the USB port. So you're going to plug into here with this cable. And this cable has no serial to USB converter because it's pure serial. Because it's pure serial, you don't need external power. One cool feature of the GPSMap 62S as opposed to the 60CSX is the screen will turn off and save power. On the 60CSX it'll only go dim. 62S goes completely off, and to turn it on just touch one of the buttons and it comes on again. The Garmin GPSMap 62S has wireless capabilities, so you can wirelessly share data within a few feet with another 62S or a Garmin Oregon 450, 550, a Garmin Montana, an eTrex 30, and other Garmin devices with ANT wireless. And because the 62S has ANT wireless, it could also talk to a heart rate monitor, a cadence sensor, and the new Garmin Tempe temperature sensor. The 60CSX does lack the wireless capabilities. The 62S has both internal and external memory. It's got about 1.7 gigabytes on average of internal memory, and then it'll also take a memory card. The 60CSX has no internal memory for mapping. All mapping goes on a memory card. One of the features that the Garmin GPSMap 62S supports that the 60 does not is satellite imagery. You could subscribe to Garmin Birdseye or create your own. I created my own for a golf course near my house, and we'll just zoom in really quickly to it. For ease of use, the Garmin Birdseye is the better way to go. Creating your own satellite image means that you have to either own them or do screen captures, calibrate them in Google Earth, and transfer them to the device, so it takes a lot longer doing it manually. That was a look at some of the differences between the Garmin GPSMap 62S and the Garmin GPSMap 60CSX. To learn more about these products, visit GPSCity.